It is going on in this beautiful, beautiful, unseasonably warm pre-Christmas show. This is Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. Big X Sports Radio. Sorry about that, folks. We had a little bit of technical difficulty this morning getting going, but shout out to the IT technical guy with the most, Dave, for getting me on and getting me going this morning. This is Wake Up 502. We have so much to talk about. We have so much to get into. Haven Harrington will be along shortly. Romy Bean, I believe, is going to be calling in on the phone as well. We have a lot to talk about. There's a lot of everything going on, man. You have, of course, University of Louisville basketball coming off a tough loss on Tuesday to Tennessee. We're going to talk about that loss. We're going to talk about what the Cards need to do to turn things around as they get ready for the Montana Grizzlies today. Of course, I don't think there's going to be much of an issue with Montana themselves, but definitely there are going to be things that we need to look at, talk about, discuss, and figure out how Louisville gets better. So, we're definitely going to get into that. We're also going to get into the college football playoff. Things got rolling last night. Oklahoma just peed down their leg after having the 17-point lead. I still can't believe that happened the way it happened, but it did. So, we do have that to talk about and get into, and much, much more. But, of course, I'm sure everybody, who mostly listens to this broadcast definitely wants to talk Louisville basketball. It is a game day. I'm pretty sure that we more than likely will be joining simulcast coverage in the second hour on the Louisville First Radio Network as we count you down to tip off here at noon. Of course, the ladies are on the road as well. University of Louisville women's basketball will be on the road in Knoxville. They actually they will tip off as we are getting up out of here today. They are down there in a big matchup in Knoxville, trying to get some revenge for the men. Go down there to Knoxville and try to knock off the Lady Vols. So, there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to get into. I have thoughts. I have a ton of thoughts, especially about Louisville basketball, because after suffering their second loss of the season, there are some things that we need to discuss. Of course, Michael Brown Jr. did not play in that game, dealing with low back issues. As somebody who, has dealt with low back issues, I feel for the young man. Hopefully, he's doing better. I don't know if we will see him today. You would think that with the fact that Louisville's playing a Montana Grizzlies team that, is hopelessly overmatched, that Louisville would not worry about playing that young man in that game. But, you never know. You never know. So we will see if Michael gives it a go. But even with him being out, the way that Louisville lost that game to the Volunteers on Tuesday left a lot of people unhappy. So much so to where, I feel like a lot of the discussion and conversation and frustration was way over the top. It's one of those things where, okay, yes, Louisville lost the game, but people that are like, Pat Kelsey sucks, or this team is terrible, or we're going to be an 8 or a 9 seed again, and just all that type stuff is just ridiculous. Like, this era of sports and social media, at least here locally, is about the most annoying stuff in the world, man. Just because the hyperbole and just the whining and crying and moaning, like, there are serious, not necessarily, there are definite issues that we need to talk about with Louisville basketball, and definite things that need to get worked out if Louisville wants to reach their ultimate goal, which is to, make a deep run and get to a Final Four. Like, that's the expectation. Okay. And yes, are there questions about making that expectation a reality with some of the things that we have seen through a couple of the big games? Absolutely. Okay. But there's a very wide margin and a very wide gap between this team may have trouble in a Sweet 16 game or may have a trouble in an Elite 8 game, depending on what team they face, versus Pat Kelsey sucks. We should have hired, Dusty May. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, and that's kind of where we are, and I understand it. And sports fandom is ridiculous, and people love to do the over the top, world is the sky is falling thing, and I understand that that's just the thing that people like to do, but I'm not hearing none of that. Like, I don't even have time to entertain that. So, of course, 502-414-1450. That is the Game Day Men's Health text line. We would love to hear from you this morning. I want your thoughts on Louisville basketball. I want your thoughts on the game on Tuesday. I want your thoughts on, where do you think this Louisville program is right now? Do you believe that everything is fine? Did the Tennessee game change any of your thoughts? What you think needs to happen for things to get better? I would love to hear that as well. I am all in on all of those different things. I am all in on all of those different things and all those different avenues. There's definitely a lot of ways that we can break this thing down. And we want to get into all those. Of course, 502-384-1450. That is the Call Your Law Office hotline. We would love to hear from you as well there. We do have Haven Harrington now checking in. I'm getting him up. Of course, we are streaming live on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and all over your social media platforms as well. Haven, good morning, brother. How are you doing?
Man, what's going on?
Man, it's a great morning, brother.
It is a great morning, but I want to piggyback on something I heard you say, talking about all the teeth gnashing and consternation with our with our blowout loss to Tennessee.
Yes.
Followed by our blowout loss to Arkansas.
Yes.
Like, there's a pattern. And now the pattern is inescapable. Because we've seen it now like 2 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
With teams that have big teams that pound it down low, give Louisville, and play bully ball especially, give Louisville fits.
Yes.
And that's a riddle that we as a team haven't figured out yet. And it's something that I'm not sure we're going to be able to figure out this year.
Yeah, I mean,
going forward, but that's okay. I look at it, and I know a lot. As you said earlier, a lot of Louisville fans like, man, we had Dusty May, or we had insert others' names coach here. We could beat the evils of Tennessee and Arkansas and everything else. But for me, you have to look at it like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
PK has his style of basketball.
Yes.
And this is what we're seeing is his style of basketball. And when it works, it's awesome, right? It's awesome. But just like every great style, just like, every coach has like what they like to do best. Somebody always has a weakness they can exploit in that system.
Yeah, shout out Virginia every time Rick Pitino played him while he was at Louisville.
or Calipari, right? There's always
yes.
There's always that weakness in the system that one guy can exploit. And what you're seeing is PK has a NBA-like offensive system, which is, we'll run, we're going to shoot a ton of threes. I want most of my shots to be 3-point shots. I'm really not concerned with the mid-range game. It's either you get to the basket, you score, you get fouled, we get putbacks, or shooting threes, and that's pretty much like PK's offensive system, right?
So Haven Harrison, hold on. I hate to cut you off right there, but you can get right back to your point. Please stick where you are. But I had to put this comment up.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see it, but it's on the on our social media. So one of our wonderful contributors on X put up a post and said CP time, talking about getting the show going. That was not my fault, man. It was not my fault. It was the system. The system was acting crazy. I promise.
He was trying to get on.
I was here, y'all. I was here. Now Haven Harrington, Haven has Haven time when he gets here. And then Roman Kelly, if I get to see Roman in here. But I was here. I promise. It was not me. It was the system. It was the system. But no, please continue your point. I just thought that was funny.
So, but like every coach has like their system, and every system has weaknesses. So it was like when we were watching the Oklahoma game last night, right?
Yes.
I made the comparison that what Louisville is like the old Houston Oilers, one of my favorite football teams of all time. The Houston Oilers with Warren Moon, Alonzo Highsmith at running back, Ernest Givens, former Louisville wide receiver, great Ernest Givens, wide receiver, Chris Dishman, another Louisville legend at cornerback. They had this awesome team. They had all the pieces, right? Great running game, great wide receivers, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history in Warren Moon. And these guys came out, they invented run and shoot. These guys will put up 1,000 points a game, and they looked like they were unstoppable until they faced off against a team that a lot of times was those old school smash mouth 3 yards in the cloud of dust teams that just ground everything down to a halt and slowed the game down and made them play that way. And then Houston a lot of times just didn't have an answer.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what you're seeing with this Louisville team. This is our kryptonite is really big teams that play really physical, that pound it below, that pound it down low. And that's our kryptonite. Now, hopefully when we get in the tournament, like we don't face any of those teams. And then we're good.
Yeah, and and a lot of that credit has to go to Rick Barnes, man. Like Rick Barnes understands, that this was a Tennessee team that was coming off 3 straight losses, Haven Harrington. And not only were they coming off 3 straight losses, they had 10 days to sit and stew in the fact that they had lost 3 in a row. So you had a Tennessee team that was off for a very long time, had done nothing but hear about how they lost, hear about what their issues were, hear how they've not been able to get it done. So there was a lot of focus on that game. And Louisville goes into that game with a coach that has a team that, is classically going to give Louisville problems. They're coming off of not playing well, so that they have that type of focus. And then on top of that, you don't have Michael Brown Jr. because he just can't go because of the back tightness or whatever he was dealing with. So, it was a perfect storm of issues, and I agree with you totally. Like, I think that style, like, there's not a lot of teams that can play that style and play it at a level to where it's going to give Louisville a problem. When you think about the teams that can, that play double post, like, the way Tennessee likes to play is a very old school style of basketball. So most teams that Louisville's going to see aren't going to play that style. Like when I think about the teams that do that, I think about Houston, I think about Purdue, Tennessee, and that's pretty much it. To a lesser extent, maybe BYU does it a little, but not really. They play with more of their 4 on the perimeter. Like, no one really plays the way that Tennessee has. So, like, I can understand why everybody is upset because, man, this is a team that, quote unquote, just has a bunch of big guys. But it's not only a team that has a bunch of big guys, because a lot of teams have size, but it's how Tennessee wants to play. Does that make sense? Like, they want to play big man basketball and live in the paint. They don't really care about shooting the ball. Like, they are pretty much anti everything that college basketball and basketball in general is in 2025. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it just, I think that there is cause for some concerns, and I think that there are some things that Louisville needs to do to get better, but I don't think we should overreact and act like, okay. Like, the fact that people are like, okay, well, Louisville's going to suck, and now they're going to be an 8 or a 9 seed. I think that's going and taking it way too far. Do you at least agree with that?
Oh, that's way too far. But this Louisville team is way too talented and shoots the ball too well to even contemplate this being a bad season or 8 or 9 seed. I just don't see it. That way too much talent on this team for that. And yes, we don't have the big guys that's going to pound it down below. Yes, Wiz Khalifa. Now, I know I call him Wiz Khalifa, and his name is Alec. I totally know this. I know that he's a one-trick pony, and the only thing he can do is pass, and that's pretty much all he can do.
Yeah.
His defense is, let's say, suspect. He has zero offensive game whatsoever. Uh, I get that. Zoo, when he gets in the game, he's just Bill and Bear no offense. That's all he is. He's Bill and Bear no offense. I'm just going to get rebounds, muscle my way up and down the court, and I got 5 fouls to give. Let's go. Right.
Fair.
Fru is your most gifted post player, inside player, who can score, who can actually rebound, who's literally your most complete player and plays good defense for the most part. I think Kanai is still learning his way in the system. I think a lot of Louisville players like to see him get more active in the post and scoring down low, versus, trying to pop out for threes and passing the ball a lot. But that part of the game is more in line with PK's system and what PK wants to do offensively. So
yeah. Well,
I get that.
I think that there are some things that Louisville's just not going to be able to deal with very well, but I do think that they can be better in a lot of areas. And the biggest thing is, regardless of who you're playing, Haven, styles make fights, and while they may struggle to score, or teams may have more success with some of the things they do offensively, the biggest issue or the biggest thing that you have to do is to mitigate those deficiencies is that you have to be able to score yourself. And I think that's the biggest problem was that, Tennessee was having a multitude of success scoring offensively, and Louisville's offense just completely fell apart. An offense that, came into the game averaging 93 points per game and was rated number 2 on KenPom as the number 2 most efficient offense in the nation. You just can't go out there and you just can't score it all. You know what I mean? Like, that's the more of the issue. Like, while I agree, yes, Tennessee did a lot going to the basket. They did a lot in the paint. They did a lot, getting alley-oops and getting putbacks and doing all that good stuff and scoring. But my issue was the fact that Louisville's offense looked terrible. And Louisville's offense struggled mightily. And I think that's where the conversation needs to start. I think defensively, there are some things I want to get into as well. I was at the local watering hole last night, and I was trying to give Haven Harrington a visualization of Louisville's defensive coverage and what Tennessee was doing to, cause Louisville some issues. Haven, did you enjoy my?
Yes, it was. Yes, your big man hedge was awesome. Now, granted, I was a little distracted by watching Oklahoma pee down their leg.
Yeah.
and Jake Paul just being overwhelmed.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. Absolutely. That's that. We're gonna probably save that conversation because, like I said, I believe that we will probably be joining U of L pregame at 10 from 10 to 10:30. But I'm thinking probably after that 10:30 break, we're gonna get into that whole Jake Paul thing. I want to get your thoughts on that. But stay tuned for that because, I have not forgot about that, people. Y'all know I'm going to talk about that.
Oh, we have to.
Long time coming for that one, dog.
We definitely have to.
We will get into that. But I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's get to our first break. When we come back, we will get full-fledged into some of the issues, what Louisville needs to do to fix it, and what you can see moving forward as they get ready for the Montana Grizzlies. You are listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, and we'll be back on the Big X. Yeah, second segment of the show. Big X Sports Radio. Wake up 502. Taking care of your little Chuck Berry. You like that Chuck Berry coming back, Haven Harrington?
You know I love me some Chuck Berry.
You know what I'm saying? A little run, run Rudolph, man. That's classic Christmas right there. That's classic Christmas. We are doing it right. Early Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Thanks to everybody who listens, to supports Wake Up 502 and everything that we do. We definitely appreciate you guys. And just, Merry Christmas to you and your families out there. We'll be doing, of course, a lot of Christmas jams today, so I hope you guys like them. But Haven Harrington, before we went to the break, we were kind of doing some general thoughts of, what was going on and kind of looking at Louisville holistically in terms of, the Tennessee loss and some of the issues. I totally agree with you. I think that Louisville basketball is in a interesting spot. Okay. So, I think that the PTSD, I don't know if it's PTSD is the best word, but we saw what certain teams did to Louisville last year, right? We saw Tennessee, of course, Ole Miss, Duke, so some of these bigger teams they played, of course, Creighton when they lost the game. And I feel like people have kind of just said, okay, Louisville soft. They don't, they can't handle this. I don't think that this Louisville team is necessarily soft. I just think that, me personally, how they are going about their business has just not updated, even though they have the personnel to be a very different team. And I don't know if that, like, to me, and we talked about it, like Javon Hadley is the guy that I look at first, okay? Because he's the easiest answer because Louisville has been exploited at the power forward spot
several times.
Yes, like that. That's been kind of the big spot, and I know that Javon has heard the noise. And one of the things that I cautioned Roman Kelly about was like after the Arkansas game, I cautioned that, hey, look, what the deficiencies that Louisville has can only be exploited by certain teams. So, like, I had every confidence that Javon was going to be able to go out there against, like, say, Indiana up in Indianapolis. They were going to be able to go up there and
be just fine.
And Javon was going to be fine. And he was going to have a good game. And, lo and behold, he had a very good game against Indiana. But I said that's kind of fool's gold because the issues that he has, I mean, let's just be honest. Like, Javon, I know he's listed as 6'7". He's a lot closer to 6'5". Okay. He's not that much taller than I am. I'm about 6'4", and me and Javon are pretty much looking each other in the eye. He's got me by a little bit. But like that position, like Javon Haven was never supposed to be a 4-man at Louisville, even when he got here last year. Like last year, the rotation was supposed to be James Scott, Noah Waterman, Case and Pryor was supposed to be the three guys that kind of rotated in those three spots or in those two spots between the 4 and the 5. Like the only reason that Javon Hadley ended up playing the 4 last year was because Case and Pryor goes down with the injury. Boubacar Traore goes down with the injury. Noah Waterman gets hurt. And pretty much Javon had to play the 4 because they just didn't have anybody else who could. And he did a great job, like he did a great job stepping up and being the guy that handled that and held that down. And that's to commend him for everything he was able to do. But Haven, and you can tell me your thoughts on it, but I feel like Coach Kelsey had, because Javon came in and was able to go into a tough situation and do well, it feels like he's kind of gotten stuck with that, even though that was never what it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, we appreciate that you were there to do that last year, but we don't really need you to do that. And it feels like Coach Kelsey is having a really tough time kind of shaking that off.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the football team.
Yeah.
And Jeff Brom. And what I mean by is this, right?
Uh-huh.
Is we saw Miller Moss's deficiencies kind of early on.
Yes.
But Jeff just refused to move from that spot all season long. Just refused to move from the spot. And in the bowl game, it's going to be more Miller Moss, which is fine. It's Toledo, whatever. That's fine. And I think we're kind of seeing the same thing with PK. Kind of get, he has his vision, and his vision is Javon Hadley at the 4, because yes, against most teams, against about 95% of teams in college basketball, he's fine.
Yeah.
No, he's fine. He's athletic. He can guard, the 2, 3, 4 position. Own position probably can't guards the 5.
Yeah, he's a good rebounder for his size.
Good rebound for his size, and he can shoot and he can handle the ball. Which is in PK's offense, which is kind of like what you want, which is what you love to have at the 4 spot.
Yeah.
The issue becomes is just like Brom, PK gets stubborn and wants to enforce his system and will on everybody. And it's those 5% of the teams that Javon is not a good matchup for, but he still refuses to move him out for somebody who could be a much better fit. And I think that's the annoying part for Louisville basketball fans.
Yeah, and that's a very good comparison, because that whole Miller Moss thing. Miller Moss was just waiting to have that letdown, even though Louisville was winning games. It was kind of one of those things. Like, we knew the types of teams that Miller Moss was going to struggle against, and guess what? When those teams came,
he struggled.
He struggled mightily, and that's a very good comparison, because we know that Javon's going to be able to play well against. So, like, Javon's going to come out today, and I know that, look, this is a very overblown conversation with Montana.
I mean, Montana's woefully overmatched.
Like, Javon's going to go out there against Montana and look like an All-American, but that's not the point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that the point is that for the long-term health of the team, Louisville needs to get these issues figured out. And I think that, there are guys out there that can help Louisville.
Well, we have guys on the roster right now that
yes.
I believe, if given a different focus,
yes,
could easily fill that role. So like Farouk, right?
Yes.
Could be a great post player for us.
Yes.
If we could teach him some more post moves to get him more comfortable with being more aggressive offensively and being a threat, scoring the ball offensively, that would take a tremendous amount of pressure off this team and the other bigs on this team when you face teams with bully ball, right?
Yeah.
Take a tremendous amount of pressure. Kenai Root, another guy, tall, lanky. But once again, if you can affect the scoring in the low post or mid-range game, would take a lot of pressure off this team.
Yeah.
And I think could do a lot towards helping us better battle bully ball teams and just teams that is physically bigger than us down below, right?
Absolutely.
But that's just, we've heard it several times already, last year especially, and a little bit this year. But, PK just doesn't value that mid-range game at all.
And like I said, it's one of those things where,
but you have to have some type of, you have to have some type of threat of a balance.
The bottom line is you have got to be able to generate offense consistently. And, there's limitations, and we talked about it. The fact when Michael Brown was off the court versus on the court, how much Louisville struggled to generate good offense. And that we saw that, firsthand against Tennessee, is that there was really no good shots being created outside of those first 4 or 5 minutes of the game before Louisville made any substitutions or did any of that stuff, where Louisville was able to, Adrian Woolley was able to get downhill and make some nice plays. Javon Hadley threw a nice little lob over the top to Sananda Frew for a dunk early in the game. We saw Ryan Conwell get downhill as well. But then after that, those first few minutes, once they made their initial sub, everything became hard for Louisville. Like the bench was a absolute no show. I think Haven the bench scoring gap in terms of Tennessee's bench versus Louisville's bench was like 37 to like 3.
Oh.
Like literally like 37-3. Like
you're not going to many games like with a 37-3 disadvantage.
And for a Louisville team that plays a lot of guys off the bench, it really felt like as soon as the bench came in and they made their first substitutions and brought in Kobe Rogers and brought in Kenai Roos and those guys, like the offense just completely went to hell. And that right there, I think for me was the biggest disappointment in the game. Was just the simple fact that the bench guys just did not give you anything on top of the fact that Isaac McNeely was completely and totally ineffective for the second game in a row. But I do think that there are things that those guys can do. But I mean, it's disappointing, Haven, because it feels like I'm having the same conversation about this team that I had early in the year last year about Terrence Edwards Jr. and to a lesser extent even Chucky Hepburn. Like before Chucky Hepburn got on his tear and before Terrence Edwards Jr. started playing well, we saw two guys that, were pretty much tasked with being the only kind of guys who could handle the ball, get downhill, off the bounce, and make things happen. And, the biggest thing that I was having an issue with, it was like every time those guys drove to the basket, they were already looking to pass the ball. You know what I mean? Like they drove to the basket or they attacked the lane having no intentions of looking to score the basketball. And what Tennessee did to Louisville on Tuesday was basically not help and stay on shooters. And so when, say, Isaac McNeely drives to the basket and he has the perimeter player on his hip, Isaac's, driving into the lane, getting to the free throw line, but he's not even looking at the rim. All he's doing is looking to kick to the, kick to the corner or kick to the wing for a guy. And of course, nobody's open because Tennessee's like, no, you're going to have to show us that you can actually do something when you attack off the bounce. You got to be able to, like you said, score in the mid-range. You got to be able to get to the rim, get fouled. You have to do something. And that was the thing that really discouraged me is like guys like Kobe Rogers, guys like Isaac McNeely, even Ryan Conwell sometimes. Those guys weren't necessarily looking to score first. And that's where Louisville has got to get better. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like defensively, there are some deficiencies because, of the way Tennessee exploited the high hedge. But to me, the bigger issue is that these guys, and when I talk about these guys, all the non-Michael Brown Jr. guys, like I'm okay with Ryan Conwell. Like for the most part, Conwell does a good job of attacking and being aggressive, trying to score. Adrian Woolley does as well. But outside of those two guys, and those two guys aren't perfect at it by far, not even close, but they at least for the most part look to be aggressive. But like when Isaac McNeely is driving the basket, Kobe Rogers is driving the basket. They're not even looking to do anything. Like those guys attack, but all they're doing is dribbling, already knowing that they're going to pass. And you can't play basketball like that. You can't go out there.
You have to be a threat.
Yes, you have got to make yourself a threat first. The most immediate threat is the guy attacking with the basketball. So if you're looking to pass, you are letting the defense off the hook. And I think that happened a ton on Tuesday. And then the other guy that I am super, super disappointed with is Kenai Roos. Like Kenai Roos showed some aggressiveness against Memphis last Saturday. He showed some aggressiveness off the dribble, making passes, looking to be aggressive, get fouled, getting to the free throw line. He looked like a new guy out there against Memphis. And I thought that Kenai had turned a corner, Haven. And he was going to become that long-armed, 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", kind of matchup nightmare dude, and he has all this confidence and all this aggressiveness, and then dude comes out against Tennessee and looks like a deer in the headlights.
I mean, but so some of what you described is like I said before, right? That's Pat Kelsey's system. Driving the paint, kick it back out, let's shoot some threes, somebody get a rebound, kick it back out to a 3-point shooter. Let's shoot some more threes. And if we miss it, tip it in, and let's run, right?
Yeah.
And that's the offense. And the problem is I think a lot of us is Pat Kelsey's kind of stubborn nature.
Yeah.
Just refusal to just be like, okay, my system's not working. Let me figure out something that will work.
Let's tweak something.
Yeah, let's tweak something. And it's just a refusal to tweak anything. It's like, no, we're going to run this system. You guys aren't running the system right. Rather than they figured out my system, or okay, they figured it out. They got a plan. Their plan is working. Let me institute something else. It's no, my system's still better. Let me go ahead and let's double down on my system. And the issue that Louisville has, and we said this before. Actually, I think we even said this preseason, is you have to be able to score at all three levels of the game.
Yes.
Right now, Louisville can score at 1.5 levels of the game,
but
they do it very, 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 very well.
Yeah.
The problem is when teams, and we said this was going to happen. Like, this is one of the things we said Kentucky. This is what we thought Kentucky was going to do defensively, honestly.
Yeah.
Was just put a wall around the 3-point line and then just make us beat you down low.
Yeah.
And make us beat you scoring another way. And Kentucky just couldn't do it.
Well, they just the defensive rotations are terrible. Like, Kentucky had the athletes to do it.
They just have the coaching staff or to
but Tennessee has the best. I mean, Tennessee, year in and year out, Rick Barnes has one of the best 2 or 3 defensive teams in the country.
Yeah. But what you saw is like Tennessee and Arkansas had the talent to do just that, and that's what they do. And once they take away that 3-point shot, and these guys who have been coached to drive the lane, look the pass to open 3-point shooter. Once that's gone, it's like they don't know what to do after that.
I feel like Louisville needs anybody who's going to handle that ball and anybody who's going to look to be an aggressive guy from the perimeter. They all have to have that alpha dog mentality. They have to have that mentality of, I'm going to have the ball and I'm going to do something with it. And that's the biggest thing is like finding, I need to do that, get like game in and game out. When he gets the ball in his hands, he feels like I am going to get this ball and I am going to do something with it. I'm either going to score, you're going to foul me, or if you help off, I'm going to kick it to my dude and he's going to knock it down. And that mentality is not really there outside of Conwell and Michael Brown.
It's not. And one of the things, I think one of the other issues, and like I said, Pat Kelsey's system is awesome. Against literally 95% of the teams in college basketball, we're not going to have this discussion.
Yes.
But just against a handful of teams, we will. And I think some of the other issues with Pat Kelsey's system is that you have guys that drive in. Like we mentioned this, like during the IU game, and that was a blowout victory for Louisville. And I made the comment that we have guys they're driving, they're looking to get fouled, but they're not looking to finish.
Yes. And
you have to be able to look to score first and then worry about getting fouled second.
Yes.
And I noticed a lot of guys were coming in, rather than coming aggressively to dunk and things of that nature, you can see them drive the lane, slow down so they can initiate that contact and then then go for the layup.
Yes.
Rather than just looking to finish their drive and to score.
Yeah. But we saw that last year too, Haven.
Yeah.
Like we saw that early. Now, like I said, we saw Terrence Edwards Jr. after probably he kind of started to wake up against Duke, even though, Duke, of course, came back, won that game in the Yum Center last year. But then we really started to see Terrence Edwards Jr. start to take off like right around Kentucky. And
about
then,
this time last year.
First of the year against North Carolina, he really started to take off. So, like, that's the whole thing. Is and you can tell if I'm wrong, but I feel like Louisville has the guys to be able to do that.
Oh, they totally have the guys.
They just have to wake up.
No, yeah, they have the guys to do it. I just think that I think this is on coach. I think coach just has to be like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to need you. Yes, I want you to get fouled, and I want you to shoot free throws, but I don't want you to drive, slow down, initiate contact to get fouled. I need you to finish and then get fouled into active finishing rather than looking to just draw the foul only.
Yeah.
Because you're just making it too easy for big, talented teams. Like I said, this is only an issue against about 3 to 5% of college basketball.
Yeah.
This is only an issue.
Yeah. So I mean that's the way we have to keep it in context. Is like you have to understand like this is a very good team. Like Louisville's a top 15 basketball team in the country.
A legit top 15.
They just
easy.
There are just certain teams, and there are teams in the top 10 and top 5 that I think Louisville would be fine against. There are some other teams in the top 10, top 5 that Louisville, like Michigan, is a horrible matchup for Louisville this year. With the way they play with their bigs and the way they just look to pound it down low, that's another one of those teams that's just a terrible matchup for Louisville. That being said, there's plenty of teams out there that I think Louisville would be fine against. And, like they just have to fine tune and like make it. You can't go out there and just completely get dominated. Like that's the biggest thing. Yeah. It's like that. There may be deficiencies, but you have to make them pay on the other end. You know what I mean? Like that. Well, that's probably the biggest.
And I think that's the other issue is like the teams that we don't match up well against that have light talent, that play bully ball, that are very big down below. It's not the fact that we lose to these teams. Like Louisville fans, like, we could take a 7, 8, 9, 10-point loss.
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
But you can't just get blown out. Like you got blown out against Arkansas. And yeah, you wind up coming back, but you looked horrible.
Yeah.
And then against Tennessee, you just looked like you had no idea what to do. You just looked completely inept.
Yeah. No.
And you can't do that.
No, I totally agree. And I tell you what, let's go ahead. Let's get back. Let's go ahead and get to our next break. When we come back on the other side, we will be talking more about moving forward. What are the fixes? What does Haven want to see? We'll also have to talk a little bit about this upcoming bowl game that Louisville has coming up this week as well. So we got a whole lot going on. You're listening to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington. We'll be back on the Big X.
Ooh, yeah.
502, Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington, coming to you live from the Palatial Studios of 96.1 FM, 1450 AM. Big X Sports Radio, Lil Jackson 5 on your airwaves this pre-Christmas Saturday. Haven Harrington, I just want to make sure that you know, as well as everybody else knows, about our good friends at the Feet First store. Feet First store in Jeffersonville is helping Kentuckiana move better, feel better, and every day of the week. If you are dealing with plantar fasciitis, knee pain, back pain, or you spend all day on your feet, they have you covered. Their personally fitted orthotic system is designed to improve balance, alignment, and overall comfort. Athletes can see better stability and performance, and everyday workers get the relief they need to keep going strong. Schedule your appointment by calling 812-725-0208 or visit feetfirststore.com to book online. You can find the Feet First store at 2781 Jefferson Center Way in Southern Indiana and Jeffersonville, Indiana. So make sure you go out there, yell at my man Chris. He is the grand poobah of feet over there at the Feet First store. Myself being a former military man, those boots did a number on my feet. Plantar fasciitis and those types of flare-ups have always been a big issue, low back pain, things of that nature. And that orthotic system and all the things that those folks can do to help mitigate that and help you get out there moving better, feeling better is absolutely amazing. So make sure you go out there and check out the good folks at the Feet First store. Because, Haven, we all got to have good feet, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, we do.
Now, speaking of a man that has bad feet, he is the dude that's coming on the line next. That is Jay Has on the line this morning. Jay, good morning, brother. How you doing?
Good morning. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing well, brother. I'm doing well, man. You know what I'm saying? Hi, what you got for us this morning, Jay?
And I feel like Tiny Tim on Christmas Eve. What I feel like.
I mean, that's fair. Are you excited for Santa Claus to come visit you, Jay?
I'll tell you what, man. It's always a blessing above ground to see another day, man. And Christmas Eve and Christmas is right around the corner, man. I'm just blessed, man.
Absolutely. So let me ask you, Jay, because I know you've been sitting on it since Tuesday. Cardinals go out there, they lose to Tennessee. Do fans need to start panicking? Do you think everything is good? What do you think about the Louisville basketball loss to Tennessee?
Didn't come to play. Mikhail didn't play. I understand all that. Back and all that. I understand all that. But man, you still got to recruit man, and just get out there and battle, man, and play, man. Regardless who you playing against, it's like they have no heart, man. Yeah. I mean, just the intensity wasn't there. The shooting all them threes. If you shoot all them threes, if you're missing all them threes, your next move is to go down low and try to score a point or do something, create a foul or do something.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just pleased with Kelsey's, because Method, he died by that three. But, man, them threes ain't going to hit like that, man. You got to do – we hurting on that 4 and that 5, man. We're hurting real bad. They're actually on that 3.
Yeah.
Hadley is garbage.
Oh, wow. Hot take.
Garbage. He need to be coming off the bench last on off the bench. He brings no continuity. He brings no something. He brings nothing to the forefront on that 3.
Yeah.
He's getting out rebound. I know he's 6'6", and other guys are like 6'8", 6'9". You know what I mean? But still, you got to be a bulldog, Raashaan and Haven, man.
Yes, sir.
Raashaan, I remember watching Louisville basketball. I'm going to get off your show just a second, sir. Haven and Raashaan. I remember when, Cincinnati's come in, man, and UNLV. Them guys had heart. Them guys like, man, forget Louisville, we're going to ball. You have to think at the end of the day, dog, you playing for one of the biggest prestigious programs in the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you playing in front of 18,000, 19,000 people a night and playing on national TV twice a week. Man, you got the ball, man. This fan base here is crazy here, man. If you don't handle your business, they're gonna boo you and talk about you.
Yeah, they looked a little deer in the headlights on Tuesday, Jay. They looked a little scared.
Man, you better get that game together. Yeah, you can go ahead and beat Montana by 40. Go right ahead. But then again, you need teams like Tennessee and teams to win. You know, because you got to get a good seed in that tournament coming up in March.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm right there with you, Jay. Hey, Jay, let me ask you this: are you excited about Louisville's bowl game coming up this week when they play Toledo?
Yeah, I'm excited. You tell the way I'm talking. Yeah, I'm excited. So, like I said about that, you want me to say about that, do you?
Oh, you know, Haven Harrington walked in during the break, Jay, and he was like, "So can we should talk about the football game." I'm like,
man, Brown can sit there and stay there all he wants to when they're gonna play it.
Boca Raton, they're in Boca, Jay. They down in Florida.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You need to go ahead and stay there where the crocodiles and alligators are.
That's rough, Jay. That's rough. So
but you know what? Raashaan and Haven. I'll be real quick to the forefront, man. It's like this, man. If you're playing football or basketball, man, you have to have some type of heart.
Yes, sir.
And at the end of the day, it comes with the territory. Broken on. Things will break, things happen, whatever the situation might be on your body. But, man, you got to give 110% every day, man. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah.
And you got to show up, man, including the coach. Some coaches get out-coached. Some coaches can out-coach other coaches. But at the end of the day, it's about the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, you have to do just like you, Raashaan, man. On your radio show, on the station you work at, you and Haven. It's about, at the end of the day, it's about main event sports, wake up 502 at the end of the day.
Yes, sir.
If you don't bring some continuity to the forefront, they're going to say, well, okay, we're going to go ahead and get Santa Claus and Rick James. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's
Santa Claus and Rick James. I love it.
Santa's coming to the ghetto.
But I tell you this, Raashaan, on my closing remarks.
Yes, sir.
We're going to beat Montana about 20 or 30 points this afternoon.
Yes, sir.
The bowl game and the crocodiles and alligators were bomb, and they might eat him up, and depending what happens. Louisville by 10 points.
Okay, nice.
A lot of transfer is going through the pipeline, as you know that, Raashaan.
Are you excited about?
I wanted to tell you real quick.
Yes, sir.
And I've actually been closing remarks. Man, the basketball recruiting for Louisville.
Oh yeah. They got a lot of people excited. Are you excited about the TikTok basketball player that they committed to Louisville? Ellis?
Yes, sir. I love him. He got a little hard.
Yeah.
5'11" already got hard.
He got a little swag to him, Jay.
Yeah, you do got a little soul to him. He got a little pork chops and macaroni cheese in him.
He definitely got a little swag. So, they need some dudes like him.
Yeah, man.
Well, hey.
So, Raashaan, man, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and New Year's and all that, man. I really appreciate you guys, man, and you guys enjoy yourself. I'm going to a Christmas party in a couple of days. My cousin they got the food, everything spread it.
I know, Jay. You told me about that. I'm about to come, we got to go visit the cousins, man. We're going to do that.
Man, I got some game prizes, some nice game prizes going to give away. Raashaan and Haven. Come on out, Haven and Raashaan, man. For about an hour, so eat real good, drink, and let people meet you guys.
Absolutely.
Listen to you.
Yeah, we're going to make it. We're going to make it happen, Jay. Absolutely. But I appreciate you. I appreciate you,
man. I'll tell you one thing, man. Yes, it's always a blessing to be a part of you guys. And you guys visiting your dream and what you do in radio, man, is always a huge success. I really appreciate it, man. You give me opportunities, every other weekend, man, to talk. Just shine a little light on people in sports, man. I really appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Jay Has. Appreciate you, everything you do. Merry Christmas, my brother. We will definitely be getting with you and chat with you soon, all right?
All right, sir. Take care, sir.
There we go. Yes, sir. That's one of the best to ever do it right there, people. Jay Has checking in this morning. Definitely appreciate him, Haven Harrington. The text line, 502-414-1450, Haven, is jumping this morning. Like, everybody's excited. We got text.
They should be excited, man. Louisville in the bowl game, in the Boca Raton Bowl. How can you not be excited for that?
Man, all I want to know is who's going to be the quarterback. I would just, only thing I would say about the bowl game is this, because I could care less about Louisville playing Toledo. Like,
what do you mean?
The fact that Louisville's playing in a bowl game that's not even affiliated with the ACC means that Louisville literally got the worst bowl assignment from the ACC. The ACC did them zero favors. So I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like, that's annoying to me that they aren't even going to an affiliated bowl. Louisville went to an overflow bowl. Tells you exactly what the ACC thinks of Louisville football. So,
pretty much.
We are there. Now, Haven, let me ask you, because I will actually, let me go ahead. Well, yeah, I'll go, since we're already on the football topic, I'll go ahead and ask you. We've heard about Dylan Raiola. We've heard about DJ Lagway. Are you excited for any of these? I am very unhappy with the fact that Jeff Brom is not allowing Deuce Adams to start and play in this Boca Raton Bowl. Like, the handling of Deuce Adams from this whole year has been disappointing.
Well, no, to me, it's not even just the handling of Deuce Adams. It's the quarterback room in general, right? Because I was thinking, yeah, okay, you got Plummer in there your first year. I get that. Next year you have Shuck. I get that. But at some point, you keep bringing in these high-level 4-star quarterbacks. You're going to have to let them play. I mean, they're just not going to develop in practice. They'll be starting caliber quarterbacks. They're going to have to play. They're going to have to cut their teeth. They're going to have to make mistakes. They're going to have to learn on the job. And that's how they become better quarterbacks, right? You're just going to have to take that lump year or a lump couple of games while these guys are learning to become like the quarterback of the future. And if you keep getting these one and done quarterbacks, that's never going to happen. Number one. Number two, eventually it's going to hurt your ability to recruit good quarterbacks because they're never going to play.
Yeah. Now the thing with these two quarterbacks that we're talking about, Lagway and Raiola, both have more than 1 year of eligibility left. So both of these guys are, and for all intents and purposes, could be 2-year guys.
Maybe.
More than likely. I mean, I don't.
I mean, never know. Now these guys could be like DJ Ukulele.
They could. That's fair.
Literally transfer every year.
You can't really plan for more than 1 year out, but they all have more than one. That would be the biggest difference between them and the 3 quarterbacks that Louisville's had so far, is that both of these guys have additional years of eligibility. Does that change your opinion on them? Does that make them more, would you like to see Louisville go that route, or would you like to see them just work with the quarterbacks they have?
Honestly, I would like to see them kind of work with the quarterbacks they have.
Yeah.
And put the bulk of the money in the trenches. Like, build me up a giant red wall of offensive line.
Yeah.
And get the best defensive line talent you can get. That, to me, would go like a longer way.
But, like, to me, it feels like that ship has sailed. With the fact that Deuce Adams is not starting this bowl game, that pretty much tells me that
he's gone.
Brom's done with it.
Yeah.
Do you agree with that?
Well, yeah. I mean, we already lost one quarterback to a transfer portal. We're going to lose Deuce. We may lose another one as well. I mean, just don't know at this point. But, in this day of NIL transfer portal, it is what it is. But you're going to have to get a backup, in case somebody goes down. Raiola has already been hurt. He's coming off a tibial injury now. I think of the 2 quarterbacks, Raiola, I think Raiola may have more upside than Lagway. I mean, Lagway has all the physical tools you would want in a quarterback. Big, tall, strong, athletic, fast. He has a cannon for an arm.
Yeah.
But he makes the worst decisions.
I mean, I believe those 2 guys were like number 1 and number 2 quarterbacks in their class.
They were. But Lagway, when he started, he just made, granted, he was a freshman. I totally get that. And granted, it was for Billy Napier at Florida. And I get that too. But I watched several of his games. And, like, you could see flashes of a really good quarterback, but then he would just make, like, brain dead decisions with the ball. That's why he had, like, more. I think he, like, threw almost more interceptions than, like, any quarterback in college or something crazy like that this year.
Yeah.
And you can't have that for a guy who didn't start the whole season because they benched him, because he's, like, has multiple interception games.
Yeah.
And granted, yes, you can coach him up. You can put better talent around him. You can put a running game around him, and that'll make a big difference. And I do believe Brahman Company is an excellent quarterback coach, and that you can make a big difference that way. But they're talking about these guys will be $5 million, which is expensive. Now, how much money are you going to have left to put a team around him if you give him $5 million?
Yeah, that's not happening at Louisville. Louisville's not giving any quarterback $5 million. That's not happening. Like from what I understand, Dylan Raiola, if Louisville's able to go that way, Adidas is probably going to be able to help Louisville out with that because he's an Adidas guy. So that may mitigate some of that NIL. So I mean, if that right there would be like the perfect storm. If you can get Dylan on a bit of a discount or get him on the cheap because Adidas is helping you out.
Like I said, I would take Dylan over DJ.
Yeah,
just because I think Dylan has a little more upside.
Were you surprised at how many people were like the negative backlash of when they were talking about Raiola did you see like social media? There are a lot of Louisville fans were like, "Oh, I don't want that dude," and that's
because like you watched him at Nebraska and he was just okay.
But see, I don't even think it's that. I feel like it's the Patrick Mahomes thing. Like I feel like the whole I'm kind of like trying to be Patrick Mahomes thing turns a lot of people off.
Well, here's the thing. There's that, but I think it's also the fact that you have people want to see Deuce Adams get a chance to start.
Yeah,
and that's what it boils down to. And the game he did get a chance to start, Brom admitted himself he was too conservative in the game. Yeah. He called way too conservative a game. He didn't give him a chance to kind of open it up to see what he can do. So, like, you never got a chance to see what Deuce Adams could do in a Brom offense. So people's like, okay, well, at least he's going to start the bowl game. Well, no, Miller Moss is going to start the bowl game. So you still only get a chance to see what Deuce could do.
I mean, Jeff Brom, for all the things that he's done well, I don't think he's handled the quarterback position well since he got here. I don't think he did it. I don't think he did well the first year. He lucked out, and Tyler Shuck was able to stay healthy, and was amazing.
But,
year 1 and year 3, I don't think he's done a good job.
But my thing is like I understand the temptation to always want to go in the portal and get yourself a guy with experience, a guy with what he can and can't do, and he can sling it. I get it, I understand it, but. We still want to see some of these guys that you recruited. We want to see what they can do because, like, you recruited them, so we want to see what they can do. And you recruited like high level guys, like you recruited high level quarterbacks. We want to get a chance to see what Mims and Cherry and all these guys can do, but they're never going to see the field. Let's be honest, they're never going to see the field because we're locked in this cycle of getting a fresh face out of the portal every year.
Yeah, no, that's fair. 502-414-1450. That is the Game Day Men's Health text line. The text line is up and popping this morning. Red Zeppelin checking in this morning, talking about Louisville basketball. He said, fellas, you're never as good as you look sometimes. You're also never as bad as you look sometimes. I totally agree with that.
Thanks.
I think that Louisville's not nearly as bad as they looked against Tennessee. They have looked like all world at times against some of these teams, and they're not that either. Like Memphis, when they just look out there and they just hit everything, and Memphis just couldn't do anything. I agree with that. I mean, but I think that you need to find that happy medium to where you're at least consistently doing something, and I think how consistent Louisville's been at being inconsistent is the scary thing. It's like it feels like they're either playing really well or they're terrible. Like that's
in between.
Yes, I just need a team that's going to at least be consistently okay to slightly above average. They need to figure out a way to be above average in what they do game in and game out. So I think that's kind of their goal. Next text says 502-414-1450. Texter says, what are your thoughts on Louisville reaching out to 25-year-old Kyrie Walker? Available immediately. Do you think it would be a bad move to add another player mid-season? Another guy cutting into the rotation could cause chemistry issues. I think the Kyrie Walker stuff isn't much to do about nothing. I don't think it'll happen. I think Kyrie, having a guy come in who's literally Haven would only have a semester of eligibility left. Dude's 25 years old. He just.
What have we gotten to in college sports? We have guys who play pro ball for like 3, 4, 5 years.
Well, I mean, Kyrie, when he was one of those dudes. He like left high school to focus on pros.
Went with the G League.
Yeah,
and then went to like Mongolia.
Yeah, he's all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
But my thing is like, where has college sports in general gone to where you now have guys that are literally pros that are eligible to play college ball, and you have conferences and schools actively going after private equity funds to keep funding their organizations and are willing to give up control of the athletic departments to private equity.
You know what? Thank you. You can thank your buddies in college football for everything that's happened to college athletics, Haven.
It is
it's all football's fault.
Is it really football's fault?
Absolutely. It is the Big Ten's fault and it is the SEC's fault.
You know what? I'm actually going to lay most of the blame on ESPN and Fox. ABC, ESPN, ABC, Disney, conglomerate. Fox, other conglomerate, because those are the guys that have literally controlled like college sports for the past 20 years.
I mean, the poaching of those 4 West Coast teams have set into motion the destruction of college athletics. The poaching of those 4 schools, going out there and getting Washington and Oregon, and bringing those teams, and UCLA and USC, bringing those teams to the Big Ten, destroyed college athletics, in my personal opinion. It's never going to look the same. So whether it was ESPN and those media groups trying to force that initiative,
they did force it. They totally forced
that. That has what has gotten us to this place.
It totally has. It's like it was the TV networks have literally gone to the conference, was like, we'll give you more money than you guys have ever seen in your lifetimes, but we need a better TV product. So I'm going to need you to go get these schools, and then I'm going to give you the money to go get these schools and add them.
It's terrible.
And it has killed it. So now it's not to change the subject, but changing the subject, right? But now you have like the Big Ten looking to sell themselves to private equity, and now you have other schools who are willing to sell the athletic.
I just don't know what we're doing though. Like, what are we doing?
It is crazy. Now you have anonymous donors dropping $400 million on athletic departments. It's like, go buy me a coach.
Like, I hate to say this, Haven Harrington. I hate to say it, but like what college athletics is doing to itself reminds me of when you see the transformation of Michael Jackson from when he was like young to
black to white Michael Jackson.
Very end.
His nose is falling off.
Yes, like that's literally what college athletics has done to itself.
It is horrible.
It's terrible. It's terrible.
It is horrible. I was all for playing the players, but I was like, with guardrails.
They didn't do anything. No oversight.
They did nothing right. They just let the NCAA was a
college athletics has been a money grab for the last however many years, and everybody's doing is trying to fill their pockets with as much money as possible. Be damned of the actual sports and what the good of the athletes, the good of the sport, the good of anything. All they care about is like, how can we put more money in our pockets? And that's why we're at where we're at right now. 502-414-1450. The Game Day Men's Health text line. Texter says, good morning, Wake Up 502. Main event. Happy Kwanzaa. He said, first of all, Jake Paul got knocked the beep out.
Yes, he did. To the surprise.
I told Haven
the surprise of literally like nobody. This is Jake Paul. Okay. I'm guessing on the Jake Paul thing now for the next 2 minutes, right?
Yes, absolutely.
This is what happens when you have a YouTuber who has been training. He has been training, but he's been scheduling overmatched bum fights.
Yes, for the last 3-4 years.
For the last 3 or 4 years. He fought Tyson, but then told Tyson, you can't hit me within the uppercut.
And Tyson was 60 years old on top of it.
And Tyson still could knock him out.
Could have easily knocked him out.
And held like so many punches. You fight Cesar Chavez Jr., who's 10 years past his prime, who's out of shape. You know, like we fight all these. He fight Roy Jones Jr., who's also like 90 years old.
He fought like 4 other like MMA guys. He fought like Woodley, who's an MMA guy. Like
MMA guys can't box.
Yeah.
Like You and I have watched enough boxing to know.
Yes.
We've called enough fights. I promoted enough
Conor
fights.
McGregor.
Yes. Like I promoted enough fights. MMA guys are horrible boxers.
Yes.
It's a completely different sport.
Yes.
Completely different style of fighting. And you prop up your career, you made hundreds of millions of dollars off of the spectacle. And he finally had to fight somebody real.
Yeah. And he ran away from Anthony Joshua for as long as he could.
Until he got too tired to run.
He got tired. And as soon as he got tired,
it was over. you know that knockout punch broke his jaw in 2 places.
That's wild.
Broke his jaw in 2 places.
That's wild.
I mean, it's just like, you know, I love boxing, and I understand what Netflix is doing.
This man was the biggest draw in boxing, Haven Harrington.
He was.
Jake Paul. Like,
he was.
That tells you where we are.
That essentially is how bad of a job boxing has done in getting its younger boxers and younger fighters out there making compelling fights.
Yeah.
It's just a farce. I'm happy to see Jake Paul get slept.
Yeah.
Because when we all knew he was going to sleep, it was just a matter of what round Joshua decided to tuck him in. That's literally the only thing that really the only draw the fight for me was, and I think for real boxing fans was when was Joshua going to tuck him in and put him to sleep? Yeah. That was it. Because he could have tucked him in literally any point in the fight he wanted to.
Well, and you know, because me and Haven did have conversations about whether this was going to be another fake Jake Paul fight. And my thing that I basically told Haven was that, look, Anthony Joshua is a current active boxer. He is a former 2-time heavyweight champion. There's no chance that a guy who's actually boxing actively is going to allow Jake Paul to come in there and sully his reputation. I had no doubt that he was going to go in there and try to murder that dude. And that's exactly what happened. The size difference between Anthony Joshua
was crazy
and Jake Paul.
It was like me trying to fight you.
Like you said, it looked like Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It looked like Lil Mac and Bald Bull or something. Like,
it looked horrible.
Like Anthony, because of all the guys for Paul to fight, like Anthony Joshua was probably about the worst matchup. Dude. Because Paul's whole thing is he likes to try to bully dudes like that he's bigger and heavier than. So you go out here and get this 6'6", 240-pound monster. Like,
dude, and what made it worse, Paul hit him with a clean overhand right.
Yes, he did. He caught him with one good, really good shot.
Hit him with everything he had.
And what happened, Haven Harrison?
Nothing. And that look on Jake Paul's face was like,
yeah.
Like, you can see it's like, I got him.
Yeah.
Bam! Then now look, this,
he gave him that look like, you trying to embarrass me on TV? Yeah, it was terrible. Hey, we're going to go ahead. We're going to get to the last break. We're going to read more of your texts when we come back on Wake Up 502.
More college football playoffs coming up.
More college football playoffs. We got plenty of things that we're going to get into and get you counting down to the tip-off of the Lady Cards taking on Tennessee Volunteers here at 11, and, of course, the men taking on Montana Grizzlies. You want to listen to Wake Up 502. Raashaan Myers, Haven Harrington. We'll be back on the Big X. There you go, Haven. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Getting in the Christmas spirit, singing some Christmas carols. That's what I'm talking about.
Temptations do it. One of the greatest Christmas albums of literally of all time.
Absolutely, yeah. Like literally, I love the Temptations Christmas.
I mean, is anything better? Their rendition of Silent Night has to be like the greatest Christmas song like ever written.
Yeah. I mean, Silent Night probably pound for pound. Yeah, by Temptations is like that Silent Night and Nat King Cole. Those are probably my two favorites all time. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just.
But you have to play a Death Row Christmas, leaving a break. The people need to hear Snoop Dogg singing about his Super Nintendo.
You're hilarious.
And Santa coming to the ghetto. I'm telling you, Death Row Christmas is a classic.
I think Roman Kelly's trying to call in. Romy Bean, if you're trying to call in, please call back. I was over here laughing at Haven Harrington. You know what I'm saying? But Haven, I tell you what, man, we got a few more texts. Let's run through these texts real quick.
Run them down.
We're gonna run them down real quick. First of all, Texter says, he says that Myers, he says Myers, you yell, but he says local media is praising everything Pat does, and he does have flaws. Well, look, talking about some of the issues with Louisville basketball. I'll say
you said them. I said them last year.
Yeah. Same. Like, to me, look, I asked Coach Kelsey after the Memphis game, like for a game that Louisville won by like 35 points, I made it a point to talk to Coach Kelsey about the rebounding. Louisville gave up 18 offensive rebounds against Memphis. Now, they blew out Memphis, but that was a glaring issue, the fact that Memphis was able to just basically bully Louisville on the backboards. And I talked about that because, I knew that Tennessee was going to be, with you giving up offensive boards like that does not portend good things against a team like Tennessee that wants to do the same thing. And I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, that's definitely a concern, and we're going to have to address it. Well, I don't think they did a very good job of addressing it, but I think it will get better. But no, I have always made it a point to go out there and ask Coach Kelsey, the most difficult of questions. So, not everybody. I mean, Pat definitely deserves a lot of praise, but at the same time, when certain critiques are warranted, I think that we give those too. Let's go ahead. I believe we got Romy Bean on the line. Romy Kelly, is that you?
That's me. How's it going, Raashaan?
Whoa. Good morning, brother. Good morning.
It's Romy.
Yeah, absolutely. Roman's over here trying to play Santa Claus today. I'm calling him Roman Claus.
Tried to a little bit here. I'm about to leave town now for a few hours to go call some games down at Midway.
Very nice, very nice. I know, man. The Midway's got you. They got you hustling, Roman. You're just up and coming. Well, we're gonna hear you in the Yum Center one of these years. We're gonna hear you doing the big games. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's what we're headed for, hopefully.
It's going to happen, dog. I believe it. You working hard, man. Definitely appreciate you carrying the Wake Up 502 main event banner everywhere you go, brother. You do us proud, man. But what you got for us is, I heard you got a giveaway for us. Is that right, Romy Claus?
I've got a giveaway, Raashaan. I've got 2 tickets to this Montana game to give away, and a parking pass right now, right here on the Call Your Law Firm hotline. I'll let you decide how you want to go about it. If it's the first person to text in right now, as of who's hearing this, if they want to claim them, and we say winner, because we don't get the same amount of text as some of the other shows, but we still get a good amount to where people listening to this will chime in. Or we can give out a trivia question if you'd like. I'll let you kind of decide. But I've got 2 tickets and a parking pass for the game today against, what is it, Montana?
That's right, Montana Grizzlies.
Yeah, Montana.
Yeah, Haven, what's a good trivia question we could ask the people real quick and have them text into the call-in line?
If you want something to get a lot of action, who's the worst coach ever in Cardinal basketball history? Never been out the again.
Man,
I got one.
It is Christmas time. Hey, what's wrong with you?
That's a gimme.
What's wrong with you? We are not invoking that man's name on Christmas week. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. What we got one?
Okay, I say
Here's what we'll do. This is Louisville's last non-con game of the season. What was the last? Oh, that may be not this. That might be. Who was the leading? Okay, here we go. Who was the leading scorer in Louisville's last non-con victory from last season? And how many points did they have?
Wow.
Man, it's kind of stiff there, man.
Wow. Roman going hard to the paint. I like it. So the leading scorer of the last non-conference game last year for the University of Louisville. Roman, do you even know the answer to that question? Do you have any idea?
I do know the answer to that question.
Really?
I mean, if you don't count Creighton, because Creighton technically was a non-con game. We're not counting the Creighton performance because that was in the tournament. We're talking about from the non-con slate in the regular season.
Yes.
The last game, the leading scorer and who it was. I mean, people are going to get this. They're going to start remembering the game when they think about it. But I think this is. I think because remember there was a big discussion on this non-con game last year on how the outlook of the season maybe looks different if we don't win this game, which is probably way too big of a hit right there now. People are going to go start to get it. But
so the last non-conference game last year, everybody, was Eastern Kentucky. So just FYI. So the Eastern Kentucky game last year, who was the leading scorer versus EKU, and where Noah Waterman saved the season?
All right, I just sent you the answer. It's technically two answers. You got to get them both correctly. But whatever that one gets sent in there. Actually, I have text groove up. I could probably Oh, no winner yet. Someone sent in a question. The answer incorrect.
Well, so
incorrect player. They've got the number amount somewhere.
Yeah,
there.
No, they got the points per game, but not
Montana.
There we go. We got it, so let's keep the guesses coming, people. That was not the right answer. So got 2 tickets to the Grizzlies plus a parking pass to see the Grizzlies, to see Montana Grizzlies, not the Memphis Grizzlies.
We need you to come and watch your Louisville Cardinals whoop up on the Grizzlies.
Yes, absolutely. Roman Kelly, let me just ask you while we're waiting on that winner chicken dinner. What is the biggest thing you want to see from Louisville today? Like is anything that Louisville does today going to, is there anything specifically you want to see? We know Louisville's going to win the game today, but what do you need to see them go out there and try to work on today?
I'd like to see them maybe try to see what we can create from the low post on the offensive side. I'm not necessarily saying throw the ball in there and let somebody go to work, but we had a lot of moments last year where offense was created with the ball in the low post, whether that was James Scott, whether that was Noah Waterman, whether that was Javon Hadley. They'd have the ball on the post, on the block, ball in hand, back to the basket, with no intention to really create a scoring basket, but with one to two players outletting on the perimeter, getting screened, trying to get open with the ball kind of leaving from the entry post side from the post. I want to see a little bit of that. I want to see what Ali Khalifa looks like down low. I want to see what Sonny Frew looks like down low. I want to see Javon Hadley back, and I'm not necessarily going to say his comfortable spots, because his comfortable spots seem to be out on the perimeter in transition. We just don't really seem to be having those kinds of moments for him to be making decisions, nor do we really want him being our top transition decision maker. I want Javon Hadley down in the post, trying to find those mismatches, trying to create for others when he forces that double team like he did last season. And then this is not a Montana team that's going to be able to really muck things up like other teams can. But with that being said, it's still the kind of opponent I believe you can go out there and, I don't mean this in a bad way, but practice the things you're not good at. Practice the things you don't have a high tendency doing. Go see what it looks like. This is your last non-conference game to go and work out kinks. Because now every single second means more than everything going forward after this. And really this does, having lost the way we did already. You can't afford to lose a game like this.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to lose it. I just think that you can still go out there and learn some things, practice some things, incorporate some new things maybe at practice. You wanted to try something new, this is the game to go out there and try it. So that's one thing. I want to see our bigs and just our front court players when they get the ball down low, make good decisions. Play hard, play strong.
Let me ask you, do you want to see a new starting lineup?
A new starting lineup. If Michael Brown Jr. is still down, then I don't really worry about what the lineup is. Okay. If Michael's back, I think you've got to see what Woolley is like in there with him. My stance, Raashaan. Yeah. 3-guard lineups don't work. 3-guard lineups don't work when you're playing the best of the best. The best of the best don't play 3-guard lineups. With that being said, if you're going to play a 3-guard lineup, your 3 spot has to be somebody who can defend. And Isaac McNeely is not that. Adrian Woolley is that. On top of that, Adrian Woolley is a better creator from the perimeter for others than McNeely. So, yeah, I think Adrian Woolley's kind of earned it. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. And Texter just texted in. He says, I thought Baylor was the last non-conference game. Not the last non-conference game this year. Baylor is the last non-conference game this year. This is from the
you ain't listening to the question, man.
Eastern Kentucky game from last year.
2024.
Eastern Kentucky game from last year, 2024-2025 season. Who was the leading scorer? You got close with your guess. You got the point total right. You just had the wrong player. So, to text in. But no, I'm right there with you, Roman. I think that Adrian Woolley has earned that opportunity. But, I'm going to tell you what. You know what I'd like to see? What? I want to see the full Cason Pryor experience. I want to see Cason Pryor start.
Really?
That's the dude that I want to see in there. I feel like they need to take the training wheels off of him and let Cason just go ahead and knock all the rust off. Because I think that more than anything else, Roman and Haven, I think Louisville needs another alpha mentality dude. And Cason is naturally an alpha mentality guy. Cason steps on the basketball court, and every time he's on the court, he feels like he's the best player out there. And I think that while it's awesome to have a team of great passers and a team that's unselfish, you need to have a guy who, when he has the ball in his hands, he has complete confidence that he can make something happen. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Louisville was lacking that against Tennessee. And I know Cason didn't do much when he was out there, but he didn't have much of an opportunity. That's why the Tennessee game was so weird. The 2 guys who played the most minutes against Tennessee were probably the 2 least effective players in that game. Isaac McNeely playing 35 minutes in a game where he could not do anything at all is insane. And Javon Hadley playing 27 minutes when, he was getting abused at that 4 spot all game long. It was just a weird game and some weird decisions with rotations. I would, to me, let's go ahead and let's just start the Cason Pryor experience. I want to see Cason play 25, 27, 28 minutes and just see him go out there and do his thing. I want to see him play a bunch of minutes. I want to see Woolley play a bunch of minutes. Because I can't.
And when that doesn't work, I want to see Kanai come in and play those same minutes.
That's fair. I mean, but I don't have any belief in Kanai. Kanai is on punishment for me. He's in the corner because you know what? You want to come out there and be big and bad against Memphis and then look like a deer in headlights, scared to dribble or do anything against Tennessee. So
we got some breaking news here, Raashaan.
Oh, breaking news! What's going on?
Michael Brown Jr. lower back will be out today. Kobe Rogers concussion protocol will be out today.
There we go. Yeah. Now, I mean, you know what? Not a surprise.
You should set him against a team that you should be able to beat with your backups.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Brown Jr., you would think, with especially dealing with a back injury, you have 10 days off after the game today. So this is an opportunity for him to get healthy. It's an opportunity for him to, kind of reset as they get ready to go on their first ACC road trip of the year against Stanford and Cal. So, I think that's the move is to go out there and, just go ahead. Let Michael, take his time coming back. Kobe Rogers got stepped on. So let's get these guys healthy. I mean, Montana lost to a Division II team, y'all. So, Montana's terrible. But I need to see some crazy lineups today. I need to see some guys working on some things. This is a game where you need to let Cason Pryor get back to being Cason Pryor. He is an alpha. He is an alpha dog mentality guy. And while I know that Coach Kelsey wants to have he wants to believe in passing and sharing and all that stuff. Louisville needs to find some guys that are unafraid of the spotlight, and I think Cason Pryor is the easiest answer to that, so we need to get him out there. Let's go ahead, fellas, before we get up out of here. College football playoff. We got a couple of big games today. Had a big game yesterday. Haven Harrington, we know did we think it was over when it was 17-0 Oklahoma, fellas?
Yeah.
I thought it was over.
No, I didn't. I knew Alabama would win still.
Really?
I was hoping it was going to be
I knew
over,
it. I thought it was a flukish 17 points.
Really? Like, I don't think it was a flukish 17 points, but Oklahoma.
Oklahoma dominated the first quarter and a half of that game. Like, dominated. They were better than Alabama in every.
Alabama wasn't defending how they know how to, though. That defense locked in, and then they didn't give a point up for what, over almost a full quarter, almost 2 full quarters.
Yeah. I mean, but college football is a funny thing, Roman. Like, you have the drop. They drop the punt. You
two turnovers.
You have the pick.
Too much momentum. That's too big of a momentum swing.
Yeah.
That was it. That was it right there. Too much momentum swing. You said it right, Roman. Once you had the drop punt, they scored, and the pick six, the game was over.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as the game was tied, the game was over because momentum had shifted. You could tell Oklahoma had lost all the energy. They had lost all the fight. And that was it. That was the game.
It was over.
It's like Louisville against Virginia. Pick six and a fumble. You give up 14 points, and it is what it is.
No, that's fair. Hey, so for the games today, so let's go ahead. Let's break them down. The college football playoff games today. They're starting out with the noon tip-off. Miami on the road in College Station taking on Texas A&M Aggies. Texas A&M 3-point favorite. Who you guys like?
I like A&M.
Okay. Haven Harrington?
Hey, you know me, man. Give me A&M. Psych, I'm going with the U.
You know what? I don't believe in Texas A&M. I think that Miami will find a way to get it done. Just give me Carson Beck. I just think that Miami is going to at least win one game. Surely, and maybe that's a bit of an ACC hope, but we'll see what happens.
You know what? I hate the ACC with the passion. I hate to say that, but I don't. I hate ACC in the past, but that's okay. Hurricanes, I need you guys to get it done. Please get it done. Don't embarrass us.
Yes, agreed.
Get it done.
Got to get one.
We got to get one.
So Tulane is a 17.5-point underdog against Ole Miss on the road. Does Tulane have any shot today, or does Ole Miss even cover that? They cover that number easy.
Yeah, they're going to cover. I mean, even without Lane Kiffin, they still have the defensive coordinator. They got the offensive coordinator still calling the plays. There's enough continuity there. They should be able to handle Tulane and then get blown out in the next round. So,
yeah, agreed. Roman, what do you think? Did Tulane have any shot?
Did we lose Little Romy?
Yeah, we might have lost Roman Kelly. No, I agree with you. It's definitely going to be a Ole Miss. I just don't see there's any chance for the Fighting John Summeralls. And what last game, James Madison, JMU. Oregon is a 21-point favorite in Austin Stadium against the James Madison, whatever they're Dukes. That's what they're trying to think. They're not. They have a bulldog, but they're called the Dukes. Do the Dukes have any shot of shocking the world and winning in Oregon?
No, they lost us by 14. So there's no way they're going to beat Oregon.
Fair.
But if this was like a perfect college football world, Miami, Tulane, and JMU would all win, and just throw everything into a complete tizzy, and
that would be
everybody
amazing.
Completely upset, have all the pundits crying and everything else. That would just be the ultimate. It's not going to happen, but man, that would be so awesome.
No, I agreed, but it's definitely not going to happen. I think the Dukes get it done. I mean, I think the Ducks get it done, but it would be funny. I will definitely be pulling for all of the underdogs today. I like chaos, so there we go. We know, of course, Louisville, Montana. We know Louisville's going to win that game. Louisville's a 30.5-point favorite, so Yeah, I just want to see them go out there and do something different. The interesting game of the day, Haven Harrison, of course, the Kentucky Wildcats and St. John's Red Storm. Rick Pitino taking on the Wildcats, 12:30 CBS.
Rick has always had a problem playing Kentucky. He always has problems when he faces teams that he used to coach, and especially Kentucky, a team that he loves so much that he's willing to give his St. John's money to Kentucky's NIL deal.
So what do you think? Do the Cats get it done, or does St. John's?
Pope cleanses his soul.
But Jaden Quaintance, the big time transfer, will play his first game today, by the way, for the Cats.
I know, right? But it's Pope. It's Kentucky. They're going to lose by at least 10, at least 12 points.
Agreed. St. John's get it done. Go Rick Pitino, and we can all laugh and point at Kentucky once again. Hey, I tell you what, man. Like we said, just thank everybody for everything this year. Thanks so much to everybody who supports. Wake Up 502, myself, Haven Harrington, Roman Kelly, intern James, intern Dre, everybody who's been a part of what we're doing. Just thank everybody so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I think we'll be on next weekend, but just want to thank you, Haven Harrington, as well, my brother, for all that you do for us. And let's get on out of here, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, y'all. There we go.